this has got to be the first Frank Warren card that I've been genuinely excited for and looking forward to in literally years. I'm not joking. It's been years since I've been excited for a Frank Warren card. Now, obviously, I've been following Joyce since he's been a Frank Warren fighter, Daniel Dubois, Nathan Gorman, Anthony Yard, and I always check in and watch, and I'm interested in what have you. But in terms of genuine excitement for a card, this is the first Frank Warren card I've been genuinely excited for since, God, I have to really think back. It might be since Billy Joe Saunders fought Eubank. That might be the last time that I was genuinely excited for a Frank Warren card. And when was that? 2014? So 5 years ago. Well, better late than never, Frank. He's finally come with a card that I can get excited for again. And he's moving in the right direction. Frank Warren has been signing all these heavyweights. We've just had Anthony Joshua get knocked off his perch. And that leaves a big gap there for Frank Warren to fill. So let's see if he can do it with this card. It certainly looks good on paper, at least to these eyes. Now, if you haven't seen the press conference, I found it really entertaining. Joe Joyce, even though he's a bit, people say he's a bit, it comes across as a bit slow, he does have some kind of personality in there. He does come out with some awkward banter as demonstrated by this press conference. I was literally laughing throughout this press conference with the tag team duo of Joe Joyce and his manager, Sam Jones, because those two combined are funny. I know a lot of people say Sam Jones is incredibly annoying. Yeah, he might be annoying, but we need annoying. The only time when annoying, in my view, is unpalatable, at least to me, is when you've got an annoying manager who is not putting their fighter in competitive fights. He's putting him in against rubbish opponents, keeping him away from any good fights, but yet he's still mouthing off and talking all kind of rubbish. That's annoying, okay? Or that's something that I can't find entertainment in. But when you've got an annoying guy like Sam Jones, whose fighter Joe Joyce is fighting good men, that adds to the drama, it adds to the hype, and it's also part of the psychological warfare that Team Joyce are trying to play on the opponents. So I personally think that Sam Jones, in capacity as Joyce's manager at these press conferences, is doing a good job, and he's making it fun. And Brian Jennings, by the way, was firing back with very good banter of his own. So I thought it was a very entertaining press conference. The exchanges between Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman were not quite as entertaining or funny, but, still somewhat insightful. So overall, again, not only is this the first Frank Warren card that I've been genuinely excited for in several years, but it's also one of the best Frank Warren press conferences I've seen in a long time. I know people always talk about the Tyson Fury press conferences, but aren't they a bit old now? Aren't they a bit played out where he's just going to come on there and call everybody dossers and all that kind of stuff? I don't really find that entertaining anymore. I used to find John Fury, Tyson's dad, the most entertaining thing about Tyson Fury's press conferences. John's dad is hilarious. I know he doesn't intend to be, and I'm sure he doesn't even want to be called hilarious, but you guys know what I mean. When he gets up there and, with his gravelly voice and starts, reeling off all the stuff that he reels off, we all find it entertaining, or most of us do anyway. But with the absence of John Fury, a lot of these Tyson press conferences, I'm just like, it's the same old routine, calling people bums and dossers. And, occasionally you might say something a bit witty that we weren't expecting, but for the most part, we've heard it all before. So Frank Warren press conferences, at least to me, have been lacking in entertainment value. But this one right here, with the banter between Team Joyce and Jennings, it made it worth it. So definitely looking forward to this card. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about how you think these fights are going to go. Most people seem to be picking Daniel Dubois over Nathan Gorman. I did a poll on my channel, and the overwhelming majority of people are picking Daniel Dubois by knockout over Nathan Gorman. So they're not even being, ambiguous about it. They just think that Daniel Dubois is going to walk through this guy. Perhaps some of them will change their minds, given what happened to Anthony Joshua on the weekend. They might see some parallels between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua and Nathan Gorman and Andy Ruiz. Incidentally, Nathan Gorman was one of those people who expressed respect for Andy Ruiz before the fight and did say that he wouldn't be shocked if Andy Ruiz won. In fact, I think even Daniel Dubois said the same thing. So they were in the minority camp, the minority of people who felt like Andy Ruiz actually had a decent chance in the fight and they weren't shocked that he won. So yeah, again, people might see parallels between that fight and this fight between Dubois and Gorman. Let me know if you're one of those people. How do you expect it to play out? Nathan Gorman definitely has fast hands. Maybe not quite as fast as Andy Ruiz's hands, but he's still got very fast hands. And he's not quite as fleshy and overweight as Ruiz. He's definitely in better shape. Daniel Dubois, there's similarities to Joshua, of course. Big guy, punches. I think Dubois is a bit more crude than AJ, but potentially he might have a better chin because AJ's chin has been, I think, exposed now. Yeah, he doesn't take the greatest shot. I'm not saying he's got a glass jaw. He did get up off the canvas several times and keep fighting on. He did manage to get off the floor from Klitschko, but his powers of recovery are not particularly good. Perhaps Daniel Dubois has got much better powers of recovery. Perhaps he's more like a Tyson Fury where he can take a big shot, maybe even go down, but he can clear his head quick, have his wits about him, and he's ready to go. We'll see. But I definitely think Dubois is a bit more crude than AJ, very physically strong. I was listening to Ingram Jones on his channel talk about how Dave Allen apparently said that in sparring, Daniel Dubois was much physically stronger than AJ, So, we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the card. Joyce versus Bryant Jennings. I think it's a good fight. I've seen some people taking a dump on it, saying, it's not a good fight, blah, blah, blah. I think it is a good fight. Because at the end of the day, yes, Joyce is a big guy. He's stopping everybody. But this is going to be the biggest step up so far of his professional career against the guy who's experienced, the guy who can move, a guy who did go 12 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko. Did he not? I mean, did I dream it? He did go 12 rounds with Klitschko. I know he's coming off a loss against Rivas, but styles make fights. Am I expecting Joyce to win? Yeah, I would tip him to win, but I see this as competitive. It's certainly another fight where if Jennings pulled off the upset, that wouldn't shock me. In competitive fights or fights that you see as being competitive on paper, neither man winning is going to really surprise you. What would surprise me, let me tell you what would surprise me in Joyce versus Bryant Jennings. What would surprise me if Joyce comes right out and blows Jennings out in like 1 or 2 rounds? That would surprise me. I'd be sitting there in the post-fight video saying, you know what, I'm surprised. I didn't expect Joyce to just come out here and blow Jennings out of the water like that. I was expecting a competitive fight for at least 5-6 rounds. I didn't think this guy would just get the job done that quickly. That would surprise me. So I'm expecting a competitive fight between the two of them. Yes, I lean towards Joyce to win, but I don't think it's going to be straightforward. Bryant Jennings can move, got a lot of experience. I'm sure he's going to be confident coming into the fight. He's lost to people, but he's also beat some good people as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a great card. I like the energy of it. And again, Frank Warren is in a good position right now. He's got Tyson Fury. He's got these young heavyweights coming up. And he's also got a situation where, because Matchroom have been taking so many of their fighters over to the US, there is space for these young guys to shine and maybe get some of that UK, support from the boxing fans in the UK now. Because some of them might be a bit disillusioned, like lost sheep. No longer believing in AJ. Or maybe Frank Warren can present them with some heavyweights that they can believe in on this card. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week. covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.